Welcome to Singapore, the hotspot for innovation in Southeast Asia. Today, I will take you to Vertical Oceans, an aquaculture farm that is reimagining the future. Sustainable, efficient, and absolutely fascinating. With the smart design and the cutting-edge technology, including AFM and air diffusers from Dried Aqua, as well as Kaltglas filters, they have built closed-loop systems that are mimicking the ocean. And this in the middle of the city. They have pulled all their hearts into creating an environment that is stable, that is safe, that is healthy and enriched for their shrimps, and also very close to their natural ecosystem. And this is also seen in the outstanding quality of their shrimps. Now, let's go and dive into it and discover how aquaculture can be sustainable, efficient, and visionary. Let's go. So today we're here with John, one of the brains and the hearts behind Vertical Oceans, and also the CEO. What difference did you notice when you were switching to AFM?
So we tried a couple of different filtration systems. We also tried this kind of disc filtration, but it would just get biofouled too quickly, and then it just simply didn't work. It produced a huge amount of effluent. And then we tried a kind of another media that was sort of like sand, but the issue was that there was biofilms that built up on that, and we don't want unwanted biofilms. We don't want to create environments where we've got organisms that are growing that can have potentially detrimental impacts on the overall system. The biofilms that can grow in filtration can produce compounds that produce off flavors in the product. So geosmin or MIB. And so we found that there was those organisms there. So I started researching other kinds of media that we can use. And then I came across the AFM, and it was good because we didn't see that buildup of biofilms and the negative impact associated with that.
Would you say that even AFM is a little bit higher investment cost in the beginning, that you would recommend it and that it's worth it?
The filtration system is the life support system for our production. That's not where you want to save cost. There are other areas where we can save costs, but that's not where you want to do it, because that's something that you need to count on. You need to depend on that. And so, having a media that doesn't encourage the growth of those biofilms that could be sulfur or geosmin producers is really significant for us. And so, we can easily make up for the difference in cost through product quality and so on. But fundamentally, there are certain critical systems where it just doesn't make sense to be cost focused. You more want to be performance focused, and that's the filtration system is one of them. And so that also influences our choice of the kind of filters that we use, the pumps that we use. We cannot have that system fail, and that's why it makes sense to invest in the right quality and the right performance. I can see that the filtration performance is just beyond what we would have thought possible with the combination of the Kaltglas filter and the media. Like, it is really, we're getting filtration down to 0.45 micron, which is pretty unexpected, I would say. Better than what we would have thought. Yeah.
So it met your expectations.
Yeah, I think it exceeded our expectations. And, honestly, that had an impact then also on the dissolved oxygen level. So the biochemical oxygen demand of the water is lower because the filtration performance is so high that we actually probably can reduce the amount of airflow through the diffusers because we just don't need to add as much oxygen because it's just less oxygen demand. And one of the fundamental things that we needed for the filtration, and this is where we really struggled initially, is we need a very efficient solids extraction on a single pass. We cannot have looping filtration. We don't want to keep, we don't want to have water settling or anything like that, because again, that's where you get bad things happening. And so the water has to be constantly moving, and it's got to flow through the filtration once, and it's got to get back to the tanks. And so for us, having a media that was very efficient at the solids extraction without some of the downsides of sand. That was really critical, and we see that with the data. Yeah, we're quite happy with it. We were really surprised in a good way. We were really surprised when we saw the results from looking at the filtration, that really there was, even down to a half a micron, nothing was getting through. That was pretty incredible. We were expecting 95% down to 1 micron, and we're getting kind of 100% down to 1 micron, which I wouldn't have thought possible with a media filter. I mean, that's like kind of getting into sort of the microfiltration area, and so that was really, really, really unexpected. Really unexpected.
Very happy to hear that. Hey guys, so now we are at Dearborn, personally recommended by John, and we want to try his shrimps. This is a meal called steel cut oat congee, and here are the vertical ocean shrimps. So let's taste. They're really the best shrimps I've ever tasted. I think you should try it for yourself.